Mark Burdig from First Commonwealth Bank Field. It's Heritage Conference Media Day. And in May, right behind us, behind this banner at least, the Heritage Conference Championship game will be staged. And coach that was part of that championship game last year, Scott Bauer, joining us from the Homer Center Wildcats. Scott, in your 19th season already, a lot of success. Made it to the Heritage Conference Championship game and lost to Northern Cambria, unfortunately, but a bigger prize was just down the road in the District 6 Championship. So all in all, it was a good year for the Wildcats, 20-6 overall, and that's in the rearview mirror now, as we like to say, and you're looking ahead, but talk about expectations for this year with a nice nucleus coming back.
Yeah, we're excited about this team. Our expectations are always the same. We want to compete and try to win the Heritage. Then we want to compete, try to win District 6, and compete and try to win a state title. That would be a lot of fun to bring that to the Homer City Center Township community.
Well, you lost 3 seniors from last year's team, but you have 6 starters returning. So let's drop some names on some guys that you're really going to be counting on.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with our leadoff guy, Braden Rado. He had a great year. I think he had 40 hits last year. So he's hopefully ready to go, pick up right where he left off. Nash Budner led us on the mound last year behind Noah. Dom Shimko, another junior, just a guy that we're excited about. Drew Fisher, outfielder, Connor DeArmond, just some of our senior leaderships. We're looking for those guys to kind of take a step in that role to kind of lead us.
How many seniors overall?
I believe we have eight seniors.
So you'll be a senior-laden team. You know, pitching, you talked about some of those guys. You know, defense, I always say pitching and defense, if you can do that well, you're going to give yourself a chance in every game. And I know you mentioned Braden Rado as a leadoff guy, but he's an anchor behind the plate, too. I know you move him around a little bit defensively when needed. But if you're strong up the middle and you're strong on that mound, you're going to give yourself a chance, right?
Yeah, correct. 85% of the game takes place in that center circle, and we talk about just take care of the baseball, throw strikes, don't hurt yourself, don't beat yourself, keep the game simple, don't overcomplicate. And yeah, Braden does a good job behind the plate, but we may have to move him out. We got some young, competent catchers that may allow us to do that this year.
And in this era of pitch count, and particularly in the climate that we play in, it's hard to really get those pitch counts elevated. And as I say, too, baseball is the only sport where the defense has the ball. And when you make an error, many people may not think a lot of it, but I'm sure as a coach you do, because an error usually means, well, there's 5 or 6 more pitches on that pitcher's arm.
Yeah, it's been interesting to navigate the landscape of the pitch counts, but Kurt does a great job. Kurt Josic, I trust him, and he does a good job with our pitchers. He builds them up, and then we kind of talk each inning about where we think the pitcher can get to, and how many they can give us, and we talk, have an open conversation with our pitchers throughout the game, and we try to always have a game plan going in of how many pitches we want and who we got coming in relief. But we know usually our mentality is win today, worry about tomorrow. So we don't necessarily try to save people. We want to win the game at hand.
Heritage Conference, as you well know, there's been a lot of good teams. I know I've already spoken on Media Day to Conemaugh Township on the other side. They appear to be absolutely loaded, but there's a lot of good teams that make it challenging game in, game out, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's any easy game in the Heritage Conference. Everybody is well coached, disciplined. We go at it twice in the same week, so there's really no secrets. Everybody knows who everybody is, and they kind of they know what we like to do, and kind of the same. So, there's no easy game, and we don't take anything for granted. And one game at a time, one pitch at a time is kind of our mentality.
Unfortunately, the field that's behind us is going to cause some disruption for your team from a practice and game standpoint. Being told, may not be ready until early April, mid-April, if we can ever get things dried out. So talk about how you're going to have to navigate that.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge, but our community has been great. I know the boosters down here are working on some side fields to try to get those ready for us. But, ultimately we need the rain to stop. But IUP's been great. They're willing to work with us. White Township, Ryan Schaefer at White Township has been gracious. When Indiana's not there, that they're going to let us in. So we'll have some challenges early in the season, but it's no excuse. We'll be road warriors or whatever we need to do, and we'll be ready to go when the field's ready. We'll be excited to come back and play here.
And just for the fans that may not know, the viewers that may not know, an irrigation installation kind of got railroaded with bad weather in November, and they were unable to complete it. And there's probably 2 to 3 more weeks of work that remains before they can get that fully installed and tested. And we're waiting for the fields to dry out, hopefully with warm weather's coming a couple of days after this interview being conducted. That process will start. Scott, always fun talking to you. Always a lot of success. Looking for good things this year from the Wildcats.
Well, thank you for all your coverage and support over the years. I know our student athletes appreciate it. Not only it's the Homer, but in all at Heritage Conference. So thank you guys.
Scott Bauer, already, man, it's hard to believe. 19 years makes me feel really old, by the way. Scott Bauer, head coach of the Homer Center Wildcats, previewing the Wildcats on Heritage Conference Media Day. I'm Mark Burdig right here on Renda Digital TV.